Viewer discretion is advised.
Animal rights activists here in Texas and all across the country are crying out that sports like calf roping and bucking broncos, you know what it is, are cruel to livestock, and of course, they demean animals and glorify men's egos. And that the cruelest of all is the valley of death, bullfighting. Well, gang, if you're weeping for your pussycat, get ready. I got them all on tonight's show. There's a great American tradition in this country, all right? Give it a second. There's a great American tradition in this country, and it's called rodeo. It began over 100 years ago and pitted the cowhands against each other in a tough but kind of a kicking competition, all right? It's still around today, but a group of animal rights activists say it's cruel and unusual punishment to the bulls and to the bucking horses. Come on, gang, if they think riding is so terrible and rodeo is so awful, how about bullfighting? Look at the blood on this one, all right? Tonight, I'm about to start a movement to bring bullfighting to America and save the lives of thousands of homeless Americans. But first, let's talk rodeo. Let's meet our first round of guests. Miss America Rodeo, Pam Innick. Pam, how you doing, babe? Let's get going. Let me introduce some of the folks we got at home base and at loudmouth number 1 and 2. And audience, remember something. Studio audience. Anytime you want to say something, you can carry your butt right down to the loudmouth and say what's on your mind. I want to tell you we got Pam is up here. She's Ms. Is that what they call you? Ms. Ugh. Rodeo America. How about Miss or Mrs.? Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right, good.
Since I'm married now.
We got Sean Hawkins. Sean is director of the Houston Animal Rights Team.
That's correct.
At loudmouth number 1, we have Jason Brown, champion rodeo cowboy. And we have Wayne Holt with us, who is the Houston Animal Rights Team also. Yeah! So I'll start with... I think, you know, we can't boo a guy because he believes in animals. You know, that's good. I love animals, too.
We believe in animals.
I've gone with a couple of dogs in my day. Yeah, let me start. Pam, let me start with you. I know you're a rodeo cowgirl, all right? Mm-hmm. What about it? Is rodeo cruel and unusual punishment for animals?
Well, our facts show, and we just finished the National Finals Rodeo in Las Vegas, 15 contestants in 7 events over 10 days. That's 1,050 runs or rides. Not one animal was injured, but in the meantime, we sent about 7 cowboys and 2 cowgirls to the hospital.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What kind of treatment do you give these animals?
Well, we're governed by, well, for instance, Neil Gay, Mesquite Rodeo, just bought a bucking horse, paid $14,000 for a horse. Do you think he's going to mistreat a horse? You pay as much for as you do a car.
Do these horses eat regularly?
They eat regularly. They are fed,
How about the bulls,
exercised.
the steers, the cows, the little, whatever the hell they're called?
The calves. Do I look like a girl that's going to hurt a calf?
Pam, I don't know.
You have to.
I don't know what you do to calves, but you could hurt me. Let me go to Sean. Let me go to Sean. All right, I'm going to understand that you feed them well. I understand that you have clinics right there to take care of the animals if anything happens. I understand that a bull runs out for 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Probably
maybe run out 3 or 4
times.
Mm-hmm. And these animals come back again and again and again, and they're well cared for. Sean, let me ask you.
The issue is not
Sean, let me ask you. Sean, are you listening to me?
Yes.
Pay attention to me. the executive director of the Houston Animal Rights Team, what are you guys really against? I mean, don't bother to tell me about rats in some laboratory or cats in some laboratory.
We're against animal exploitation, period, whether it's in the lab or on the rodeo.
Are you also against, then, a guy at home teaching his dog to do tricks? Roll over, show me how to play dead.
There's no comparison to what goes on with a person's pet.
Well, what is exploitation, sir? Exploitation is like saying,
yes,
you're saying exploitation.
Yes, exploitation.
That's like saying you're partially pregnant. You're either exploiting or you're not exploiting.
Yes, that's exploitation, and we do not approve of it.
What about dog shows and cat shows?
We
Where do
don't
you think
approve of
where do you
dog shows and
think
cat
that
shows.
most of your funds come from?
Not our funds.
Where do they come from?
Our funds come from our members.
I know, but don't most of them have dogs and cats that they show in shows?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, let me go to Wayne. Let me go to Wayne first, all right? I want to go to Wayne Holt first. And what about Wayne? You don't exactly look to me like you're suffering for animals or anything. I mean, is that suit wool, sir?
It's a blend.
Blend of what?
It's a blend of man-made fabric and natural fiber.
Natural fabric? What is the natural fabric, sir?
Well, there's wool in it, obviously.
Jeez, where'd that come from?
Okay, first of all, you have to understand. First, you have to understand that animal rights people are trying to move towards cruelty-free. Because it's not provided totally doesn't mean that we're not trying to move towards it. So an animal rights person is moving towards that as much as we can. We talk about cruelty.
No other suits except suits with wool in them for you, sir?
We're talking about rodeos.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought we were going to, but that's fine.
Well, I want to find out what kind of a hypocrite you are.
Vinyl is all man-made.
Okay, everything's man-made except for your suit. Except for your suit. All right. Ah, zip it. I'll run the show, puke face.
You want to compare the cruelty involved? How about
Let's
that?
go back.
How about that?
Let's go back. Let me go back to our cowboy. Jason, let me come to you, pal, all right? As the world champion cowboy, do these guys have a leg to stand on? I mean, are they full of tofu with grapefruit nuts?
Mostly for the general part, yes, Mort. This is exactly the scenario I anticipated. Obviously, this person has never even been around or let alone been on a horse. But the thing about it is
Completely wrong. Completely wrong.
Well,
You still ride horses, sir?
I don't ride horses anymore. I've been to rodeos.
Don't ride them
I have
anymore.
attended
this is what we
Are
deal
you
with.
fighting for the vote for horses and things, maybe? Is that
What
the
are you
next
talking
step?
about?
We're
You're
going to
talking
vote
about animal
them?
rights. We're talking about consideration for animals. That's what
Let me
animal
finish.
How
rights
about
Got
having
the
some
floor.
consideration for human beings first?
We
eh?
do. We do. We do. Every one of us do. Every one of us do. More than these guys.
Let me hear. Don't compare yourself with anyone in here. You a jerk.
Mort, what we're dealing here with is something that we deal every day in rodeo, with me going out seeking national sponsors and getting kids into rodeo. And that is, don't take this wrong, but it's an ignorance. Will Rogers said everybody is ignorant only on different subjects. And our goal is to educate the general public as well as you
God
guys.
help us.
That is why, hey, I'll challenge you to anything any day, buddy. That is why we sit down with the American Humane Association each year and write our rule books, put out these pamphlets. In our rule books, it states all of these rules that protect the rodeo lifestyle.
Let's talk about
I am for you because you're helping me with my way of life. This saddle puts food in my mouth. You're ensuring
I can't help it if you get yours living in an unethical manner. That's not my problem.
I'm not finished.
And the other thing too is the cruelty issue. If you look up cruelty in a dictionary, it's unnecessary suffering. What you people do is not necessary.
Okay,
so
then-
why do it?
Then why, when a horse is born and he grows up, why can't you just go out and ride him? He is bred to buck. It is in their nature.
That bucking strap helps, doesn't it? That bucking strap sure helps, doesn't it?
If they're bred to
Doesn't
buck,
that help?
why do you use the flank strap?
The flank strap actually is for the animal safety. The flank strap.
Good.
That's a lie.
Hey, wait a second.
And let's, for the folks at home who've never seen a rodeo, let me tell you, the flank strap, I believe, comes up underneath the belly of the, and can be cinched tight.
Yes, but let me explain the cinch strap. We have strict rules concerning this. It is fleece-lined and must be maintained in good position. And it is not a completely locking device. The device is pulled tight, but then as the animal kicks, it loosens up. The area across here from your femur to the horse's belly is called the flank area. And it's sensitive. It'd be like putting a ribbon on a puppy dog's leg. It's going to try to get it off.
Well, let me ask the gentleman a question.
The safety issue, without the flank strap, these animals run off and with their head down and run into the gates and the chutes and hurt themselves.
Because people are on their back. That's not a natural. That's not a natural. And the flank strap, when it's released, they stop busting.
He's asking some fair questions.
Okay.
I'm not fighting him on that.
Sean says they wouldn't be there if it weren't for rodeo. You know where they'd be? 34 cents a pound at the Killers.
So
We're not for that either. We're not for that either.
So what do you feed your dogs then? What
I don't
do you
have
feed
dogs,
your dogs?
ma'am.
Well,
Why don't you have dogs, sir?
Because where I live, we don't have dogs.
Okay, but you wouldn't mind having a dog.
I wouldn't mind what?
You wouldn't mind having a dog.
No, of course I wouldn't mind
Okay,
having a dog.
but you're not going to mistreat it.
No.
All right. Is perception really our own truth?
Well, obviously, everyone perceives is pretty much the way they perceive, and that's the truth to them.
Are you also, I assume, are against all kinds of what you call animal exploitation, such as testing?
Yes, if you want to get on that subject, yes.
Well, I want to
But we're not
cover all
here.
areas.
Okay.
I want to know that you're consistent.
Absolutely, that's fair.
All right. You don't eat meat.
No, have not.
Don't eat fish.
No,
Don't eat chicken.
no.
So you are consistent.
We try to be
With the exception of your suit, and that's okay. It's okay. You're trying to be consistent, and I appreciate that. There are people who think vegetables feel, people who talk to their plants, right? People who have the plants bow down and see plants cry and they hear noises. Do you eat vegetables?
Yes, we do.
Haven't gotten that far advanced.
We eat as low on the food chain as we can to prevent as much suffering as we can, because animals do suffer as human people do. They have nerve receptors. They have psychological needs.
You're talking about apples and oranges. Look at the stratum corneum and stratum germinativum of the skin and the Pacinian corpuscles, which are responsible.
Could you say that again for me, please? I missed the last part.
Pacinian corpuscles.
Boy, I miss Helen, too.
I'm not some dumb cowboy.
I didn't say you were.
Okay.
you know, he starts talking about the flank strap, and people that have dogs put choke chains on their dogs.
We don't approve of that.
But most people do. And I'd like to know where you think, I went to Wyoming, Michigan last year where they had the rodeo and they had these animal rights activists there. The Humane Society doesn't protest pro-rodeo.
You guys
The
know what you're doing?
is not
You know what
an
you're doing right now, Sean?
The
You know what you guys are
SPCA
doing?
doesn't.
You're
It's people
standing
that are
outside
fanatics.
Channel 5 in New York City, you're activists, and spraying indelible yellow paint on anyone who walks by with a meat coat.
We don't approve of doing that.
You don't approve of doing it?
No, our
But that is
organization-
animal rights activists who are doing it.
Well, that's like saying
Now, I
some
would
rodeo
love to walk
people
by in a
abuse
mink
animals.
coat and have some slime ball spray yellow paint on it. And I'd show you how to treat an animal.
Okay.
I'd show you how to treat an animal.
So what you're saying in essence, Mort, is that the life of the animal is less important than fashion. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying the life of the human being, the safety of the human being is more important than the animal.
What safety? You're talking about fur?
I'm talking about that paint getting in the eyes of the human wearing that.
Well, imagine all the paint that's going in the eyes of animals that are tested in the laboratories and our major companies year in and year out.
My heart pumps.
I know.
My heart pumps
'Cause you've
mostly
seen
for
that.
human beings. Mostly for human beings. Now, I love my dog. I don't own cats because I don't like cats. All right? I don't trust them. But I love my dog. And he's a Doberman. And he's the sweetest, most gentle dog in the world. But he'd bite your ass off in a second. The animal rights movement is going to take away your shoes, your belt, and maybe your life. Stay with us.
First,
We got a new guest here. Got a new guest at home base. I'm going to start with that new guest. let me introduce you first, please, to a gentleman by the name of Gil Michaels. And Gil has a magazine called The Animal's Voice, all right? There it is. You can show it on TV.
Here's another one right here. There's another one.
What is the horror of rodeo? I mean, we're talking about cowboys following an old American tradition, and horses, I think, were meant to be ridden.
Well, the first thing I want to say, Mort, is about your comment that bringing bullfighting to the United States is going to give a lot of people a lot of jobs. There's a lot of bull crap.
We'll get into the rodeo.
So, to get to the rodeo, I'd like, yeah, right, boo, I'd like to ask the gentleman on at the podium over there, are you a member of the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association?
Yes, I have a permit and the International Pro Rodeo Association.
And this lady here mentioned about the veterinarians being at rodeos, and you mentioned some of the rules of the rodeos. Well, let me tell the viewing public the truth about the rules of rodeo, all right? Let me tell you.
Let's hear it.
You can refer to it right in your rule book, too, buddy. The rules are, you want to shut up and listen? The rules are, the rules say that a veterinarian should be on the site. There's no requirement for a veterinarian to be on site. And there's no mention of providing for the injured animals in your rule book.
That's wrong.
The calves, it says in your rule book that calves may not be crippled or killed, but there are no penalties in case that they are.
Yes,
no, they're not.
Hey, you're wrong.
Electric rods should be used as little as possible. But who's to judge what's as little as possible? You judge. It's like baloney. It's like the wolf guarding the chicken coop. That's what it is. And there are no penalties for it either. What? Where did you pull these out of your rule book? Not that one. Where's the big one?
Of a type on which injured animals must be easily placed without causing additional injury must be available at all rodeos to remove them from the arena.
Okay. All right.
That's for the ones. Hey, that's for the ones that don't get hurt.
It's a sled. No, it's a sled that
That's
they
for
take
all your animals that don't get hurt, right?
Drag them out of the
But
damn
how many
arena.
animals have ever been injured in arena competition? That's what I want to know.
Rodeos are inherently abusive. Would you like to dance, darling? That's patent leather, yeah.
What do you need a vet for if animals aren't getting hurt? What do you need a vet for if animals aren't getting hurt? What do you need a vet for if animals aren't getting hurt?
Will you please, sir?
What do you need a
Rodeo.
What do you need a doctor for? A doctor of veterinary.
Because they're getting hurt, you're right.
Let me tell you what the definition of rodeo is.
Appreciate it.
Rodeo is legalized animal abuse. That's what the definition of rodeo is. There's no way. No, I don't eat meat. No, I don't eat fish. I don't eat chicken.
Don't eat any meat?
No, I don't.
Nothing.
No.
You eat only vegetables.
No, I'm not skinny. I'm in good shape. You're a little overweight.
Smoke?
Yeah, I smoke.
You drink?
I drink a little bit, yeah.
Did you know that smoking and tobacco is fertilized by animal dung?
Well, what's that got to do with rodeo? What's that got to do with rodeo?
Just tells me one thing, so you won't eat animals, but you'll sure eat bleep.
Well, so will you, Mart. You're doing it right now in front of NASA.
I won't eat anything from you, pal.
I don't eat meat. What are you talking about?
How old are you?
41.
41 years old, doesn't eat meat, doesn't eat fish, doesn't eat chicken. I'm 56, I look a hell of a lot better than he does.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Just a second, I've got the first. At an earlier show, you mentioned you're a Christian, right? Psalm 32:9. David said in one of his songs, "Be ye not as the horse or mule, which hath no understanding, and must be held in with a bit or bridle."
Well, you got to understand.
What the hell is he talking about?
You got to understand. Let's not go into Proverbs. Let's not go into Proverbs. He wants to protect animals. I'm not against protecting animals, but I'm also not against protecting horses' asses.
More.
Could I ask
Let me hear this gentleman now. Let me hear this gentleman now. Go to
Does
it.
this gentleman want to talk about the Bible? How many
No, I
quotations?
don't want to talk about the Bible,
He's
man.
quoting the Bible. He's quoting the Bible.
Watch
Could I ask you, is this thing working?
Because it says.
Look at what this guy's got on his
no
boots
advantage
here.
over
Look at
human
what this
beings.
man's got on his
Doesn't make a
boots.
difference.
You're telling me that won't hurt an animal when he kicks it into an animal? I don't have to feel it.
Oh, yeah, just like that.
Let him ride some other cowboy and see how it feels. Let him ride some other cowboy with them spurs.
Obviously, sir, your biggest problem is nobody ever put the spurs to you.
And no cowboy's going to either, baby. Let me tell you that.
This mic working?
It's amazing.
And nobody's going to either,
It's
Mort.
amazing.
Nobody's going to either, Mort.
It's amazing to me that these people, none of them have pets, and none of them eat meat.
I have pets.
I have pets.
You have pets?
What kind of
My
pets
two
you have?
dogs are vegetarian.
You have what?
Cats.
What do you think of that? And they're as healthy as any dogs in the world. Oh, bull what?
I'm sorry I don't kill them. Sorry I don't kill them.
Say, can I ask you, man?
Cowboy, you go ahead, man.
How many
Go ahead.
rodeos have you been to where their animals was hurt? This doesn't work.
Yeah, it works.
Is it working?
Rodeo.
How many? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Wait, he asked you a
How
question.
many rodeos have you been to that animals got hurt?
I've never been to one rodeo.
Well, then what the hell are you talking about? How many times have you been to the moon?
Any
How many times have you been to the moon?
moron can tell that digging spurs like that into the side of an animal hurts.
Hey, Mort.
You don't have to go to a rodeo to know
you
Let me hear
that.
this lady.
She's up there. Would know
Let's
that.
be gentlemen and
Have you
hear this
ever
lady.
asked one, did it hurt?
Let's be gentlemen and hear this lady for a second. Go ahead, ma'am.
Was dragged off.
Sean, I said, let's be gentlemen and hear this
I
lady.
doubt it.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
First of all, I owned a horse for 14 years. I'm an animal rights activist. If I had the choice to own a horse, I would. I would have it as a pet. I spent a lot of time around the rodeo and around people who did rodeos, and I spent a lot of time. And I can tell you for a fact, after 14 years, that those people, like yourself, are not true animal lovers. They are on an ego trip, and that
And you know what? You know something, Mort? You know, let me
And
tell you something.
Mort, you asked if anybody here had ever seen an animal, or maybe you asked it, if you'd ever seen an animal injured. I went to the rodeos all the time, and I saw a calf have his neck broken, and you know what they did? They drug him off. They didn't even have the decency to pick him up.
Where did you see this rodeo, lady?
Right here.
Right where?
Ma'am,
Right
you ever
where?
seen, ma'am, wait a second, sir. Sir, no one can hear you, not at the microphone. Have you ever seen a human being hurt at a rodeo?
Yes.
Have you felt as bad for the human being as you did for the animal?
Oh, no, and I'll tell you why.
No, you
Let
haven't
me tell
felt
you
as
why.
Yeah, tell me
Let me
why.
tell you why.
Go ahead. Let's hear
Let me
why.
tell you why. Because people are there on their own free will. Yeah. That's right.
Question.
The animals have no choice.
Question. And tell me if either one of you know the answer. What is the average life of a rodeo animal?
I know
A
one
horse,
thing.
a horse.
A bucking horse. This weekend I'm going to rodeo.
What is the average life? That's what I want to know.
Some of them 32 years old, still
All right.
bucking.
What is the average life?
Average life?
Yes, sir.
Smokey, he's a stock contractor.
Probably to 14, 15 years.
14, 15 years.
Yeah.
What is the average life of a horse in the wild? In the wild.
Well, if you didn't have any control over them and you didn't use some of them for something, and they was out there defending for themselves, they wouldn't be very long, probably.
Well, how long?
Look at the Mustang.
2 years, 3 years.
That's because we're killing them
2 or
all.
3 years.
That's because our country's.
If you don't have a
6
Here we
years
are.
old, those Mustangs live in the wild.
let me ask
and
these
then
people one
they take it. Then
question.
the people buy those horses and maybe take them to the killers. If they had rodeo, you know, this whole thing has gotten out of hand. We were here to talk about rodeo and the treatment of rodeo livestock.
Yeah,
and
well,
I don't
well,
think
you know,
anybody
you know
can
something
dispute.
that's really, really funny and ironical about a rodeo. What goes on at the rodeo?
Why do you have to read everything?
How do you know? You never went to the rodeo.
What goes on at the rodeo doesn't
I quote you. You never went to the rodeo.
All right, here's where I think we get into some interesting stuff. We talked about the rodeo. We understand these folks don't like the rodeo. How do you think they're going to like a little bullfighting coming here, huh? Stay with us.
Should your name be on this envelope, it should if you or someone you love is age 50 to 80, and it will be addressed to you if you call now for this important information. Free information about a life insurance policy designed especially for men and women age 50 to 80. Life insurance with no physical examination and no medical questions. Because of a limited benefit period, you cannot be turned down for any reason. And your premium will be $6.95 a month and will never increase. Colonial...
Turn this over for just 1 second, Gil Michaels, because I want to see the bullfighting tape that you've made available to us.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say, Mort, that it's good to see that now we don't have any more rodeo sissies up here that abuse animals. Wait a minute.
Now what we have is some real men. Some real men. Some animal. We got some real men that murder animals. These two clowns right here. Run this tape. Let me show you what bullfighting is. I got a tape here.
Let me see the film.
I got a tape here that's going to run, and you people will see what bullfighting really is.
Great. Bring it out. Let's see that. Let's see it.
Relentlessly, his tormentors chase him. In this grotesque scene, the bull surrenders from torture so severe that the matador's sword isn't needed at all. An assistant cuts the spinal cord instead, with a dagger ensuring the bull's death.
These people want to go out and see a bullfight. They want to pay to see death, but they don't want to do it. And if you want to do it, you're even sicker to want.
How you know she can't do it, sir?
Can you do it? Could you go out and do this? If you want to kill an animal for entertainment, do you? You do.
Now let me tell you something.
Well,
let me tell you something. Wait a second. I'm still running this damn thing, all right? Let me tell you something.
Excuse me.
You're excused, Gil. Let me tell you something. Can you gentlemen tell me where that bull goes and where the meat goes when he's killed?
Well, look at the eyes.
Where does the meat go?
Remember the eyes in that bull, ladies and gentlemen. Remember
where
the eyes.
Zip it, Gil.
Eat it. Nothing is waste.
It goes to the poor.
Yeah,
no, goes to the poor.
Let's torture it first, though.
It goes to butcher shop.
Let's humiliate it. Right?
Let me introduce. Now zip it, man, or clear your butt out.
There's no glory there. There's no bravery there. There's no heroism. There's no pride. There's no sport.
Will you stop reading?
I'm not reading.
And do something you remember.
Excuse me.
Let me start with Mr. Sherwood.
Sir.
Then Sherwood. Let me start with you. Give me a brief history of the art and the beauty of bullfighting.
Well, a brief history, we have to go back a couple of thousand years.
Right.
It's been practiced in one form or another, especially on the Isle of Crete.
No, maybe I asked you for...
All right, but bullfighting as we know it today was originated in about the 16th century in Spain. It started off with El Cid and his cronies bopping all over Spain and seeking out...
Okay, this is boring. Gil.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about...
Will you shut up and let me run the show? Let me start. I want to start with David. David Rink David ranked you are the greatest living American matador. Do you have a problem killing the bull?
I killed my first bull when I was 11 years old. Didn't bother me then. I understood it. It never bothered me because if it wasn't for me and Lynn Sherwood and people like us, the bull wouldn't even be alive today.
Let me tell you in Spain. Let me tell you what happens.
So what? What do you mean, so what? So what? Just abolish a whole species of animals.
Wait a second, will you please? Check me out. I've seen many bullfights in Spain, only a few in Mexico. In Spain, the bulls, when they are bred, have to be blindfolded for the simple reason they will attack their mates.
They'll attack anything.
Does that happen here, too? This is how they are bred. Have you ever fought a bull? I have.
Humans
natural
do that.
No, that's their natural breed.
Baloney. Baloney.
Wait a minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think
they have never been domesticated. That's not bred to do it.
I think
is domestication a humane way of treating an animal, sir?
They have never been domesticated.
Are you saying then? Are you saying then they should be domesticated?
No, sir. I'm a bullfighter myself. I'm a student of David's. I'm saying that the fighting bull has never been domesticated. He is bred to keep the blood spirit alive, non-domesticated, just like the lion or the tiger.
Now, let me hear this,
what I'm saying is that.
Well, what does that have to do with
Then I'm coming to you, Gil. Gil. Gil, I'm coming to you.
What's that got to do
Gil,
with it?
I'm coming to you after this time.
I think that Gil is a very lucky man. He does not like bullfighting. I am addicted to bullfighting. I have to sit through all sorts of lousy bullfights just to see one good one. He doesn't have to sit through any of them. Now, the only thing is, I've never been to a pussycat theater. I probably will never go to one. But don't tell me I can't.
If that's the best bullfighting you can come up with,
Gil,
it's a lot better than that.
Hey, Gil! If you don't like bullfighting, don't go to bullfights. Simple as that.
If you're talking about pussycat theaters, ladies, I want you to hear something. This is a quote of Mr. Sherwood. May I read this, please? This is a quote about the sexual. Now, listen to this. Listen to this. You too, sweetheart. About the sexual.
Now, there's proof he respects animals, but not women.
This is Mr. Sherwood's quote about the sexual symbolism. The bull in the sexual connotation takes on the feminine form, and the man vanquishes the female by raping and plunging. When the matador vanquishes the bull, he has taken the bull's virginity and has dominated the animal. Quote from Mr. Sherwood.
That's why you wear patent leather boots, right?
I have a quote.
Where's your bullfight aficionado?
I knew somehow we'd get into sex.
I have a quote here that's typical of this gentleman. This was a letter sent to my magazine. Mr. Sherwood, this is after a feature had been done on me in the Los Angeles Times. Just read your press in the Times. And for the first time in my life, I find a need to tell another human how despicable I believe they are. I am saddened to learn that I'm sharing our lovely town with such a monster as you. Honor and death, please. I hope you die with such an honor by a bull ripping out your intestines. These people are really mild-mannered, and they're just for animals. They just want the animals to go home and be nice and not cause any sweat.
Gil, how do you respond to that? How do you respond to someone who is as radical in that direction as you claim these gentlemen are in killing bulls?
In Mr. Sherwood's own words again, there is no moral justification for bullfighting.
Is there moral justification for wishing a guy gets his intestines ripped out?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, good. Right?
Absolutely not. But there's no moral justification for bullfighting. Bullfighting is morally unjustifiable in Mr. Sherwood's own words. So now by that, we know that Mr. Sherwood is immoral.
I have a question.
Let me hear this lady. Let me hear this lady, then I'll come to you.
I want to know how you got here if those animals did not help your ancestors plow and
what are we talking about? Bullfighting?
But they did that for entertainment. They had nothing else to do. They could not. They had hundreds of miles
between them. They did it for their own entertainment. They started it 100 years, what he said, a million years ago.
And now for entertainment, we notice that they don't exploit animals. Now for entertainment, they're back to exploiting women, all right? Next, the man who says bull animals have no rights. Stay with us. Let's start right out now. Where is Harry? Harry. Where's Harry? Harry, let me ask you a question, Harry. You're an amateur bullfighter who's killed 25 bulls.
28.
Does it feel right to you to kill bulls?
Yes.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I don't know. Someone said this was a sexual thing. I remember when I was in Spain, the bullfighter always extended this part, moved in. I mean, is the guy trying to get bull sex or what?
I've seen over 500 bullfights, and I've killed 28 bulls myself, and it has no sexual connotation for me.
How come you're sticking your thing out when you go to the bull?
You're giving the bull your body.
Give him the bull your body?
Yes, you give the bull
Man, I can think of some better people to give my body to. But then they wouldn't take it anyhow.
That's what bullfighting is. You put, man, I give the bull any chance. Every chance in the world.
That's right. The bull has every chance at you. You give it to him.
I stand right in front of those two horns.
After I've killed a bull, I become a sexual giant.
Oh, what a sick moron. What a sick moron you are. Death, you mean death? Death turns you on. Death and pain and suffering turns you on, right?
It's been going on for millions of years. It's been going on for millions of years. None of us are going to change it.
I hate to ruin the theme of the show by trying to be rational. But I'd like to make the point.
Yeah, listen to this rationality
If you could ask him to shut up.
You
think you could do that?
Shut up, please, Gil.
I am neither an apologist or a defender of bullfighting.
All right.
Bullfighting needs no defense. It has existed for 2,000 years, proof of its right to be. But
get out of here.
The problem that most Anglos have in trying to understand it is that we relate everything to sport. Bullfighting is not a sport. There is no competition or contest between man and bull. It was not designed to be.
But I have seen great competition. You say there's no competition.
Between man and bull.
Yes, between man and bull, I've seen great competition. Because I see that bull. I mean, we saw the picture that he showed us of the bullfight. Here's the bull at the very end of maybe 20 minutes of battle where that bull has maybe nicked him, pinned him. I saw one bullfight where two of the stick boys were pinned with each horn.
Bravo.
Right? Where the kids were killed.
That's not a
kids were switching, all right?
That's not a competition. The bull
And I
outweighs
heard
the
the
man by
audience
7 or 8
cheer.
times. How could it be a competition? A sport is a match between supposed equals.
So this is an art.
To an undetermined goal. In the bullfight, we have no match or competition.
I've seen the bull allowed to live because the people gave it that.
Has this guy ever seen it in the slaughterhouse happen?
Yes,
the bull was allowed to live?
One wrong doesn't kill animals. You know, two wrongs don't make a right.
The point I'm trying to make.
Wait a second. I want to go to the people, let them talk. We'll come back to them. Stay with us. never part of me, right from the start. I want the folks. Go ahead, pal. You've heard it all.
What I wanted to say is, first off, I feel like I need to apologize to you being a Texan to have such a sick, slutty puppy like this gentleman up here on stage. Number two, don't get me wrong, I love animals, but I love my steak. I want you to take a look at Mort's director. I think those are the most beautiful shoes I've ever seen. Those are animal fur. Those are beautiful. I love them.
All right.
It's an invitation. It's an invitation animal fur. I like it. I love it. It's beautiful. It looks great. When I walked in here tonight, and I saw this gentleman here, these cowboys and this cow lady, and this band and the Texas flag, I felt like I was at home. I don't know if this guy's a Texan or not. I hope not. I'm embarrassed by him. But I'm glad to be here in Texas.
No,
these guys, this is Texas right here,
I'm from Kentucky.
Go back to Kentucky. Go back. Go back. This is Texas, Mort. And we're glad to have you here.
Go ahead. Quick now.
Good evening, sir.
Quick.
All right. What I wanted to say is...
Quick, Gil. This belongs to them.
Gil.
You've had yours.
What I wanted to say is that I'm a bullfighter. I'm a student of David's. And last year, I put on 10 bullfights here in the United States. Bloodless fights. No sticks, no picadors. I brought the bulls from Mexico, brought them over to the United States, and I fought them here, and now they're living happy and ever after in the pastures here. I took them off a death row. I brought them here to the United States. I gave them a pardon, and those animals are here. We fought both.
Good for you.
I'm sorry, sir.
Good for you.
How many animals did you say?
Zip it.
How many animals?
Wait a second. Go, ma'am.
You're saying people that go to rodeos and do the rodeos are bloodless. No, they're not. These people love animals more than probably anybody else in the world.
Nonsense.
You don't know. You don't know. We pay thousands of dollars for horses and cows. Do you think they're going to pay thousands of dollars for them? And they go.
Athletes dressed in all that funny
Do you think?
Yes, they did.
Shut up. I'm done.
We'll come right back. Stay with us.
Money, that's all.
Guys are arguing between segments, but no guts. You can't argue now. What's the matter with
What? What do you got to say, Sherwood?
A man is a hypocrite. He takes this piece in his beautifully produced magazine.
Thank you.
A photograph of Pepe Luis Vasquez. Show you the photograph here, and you see the photo. Now I'll show you the photo before he altered it. You have it up. With the blood rushing out of a broken femoral artery. Because he can't let it be shown that men suffer in bullfighting.
Let them talk for a minute. Let me tell you.
Where do you come up with asinine statements? Where do you come up with asinine statements?
Give the meat to the poor, and let's give a portion of every gate to the poor, and take the hands out of the pockets of the taxpayers, put them in the pockets of the animal rights people, all right? Look like they got a lot of dough to me. No pussycats, no doggies, but a lot of horses' asses. See you later.
Something funny's going on the Arsenio Hall Show. Next, right here on 31 UHF.
Transportation for the Morton Downey Jr. Show was provided by the Gilman Companies.